You're stranded on a supermarket shelf with a great white shark hunting you. What would you do? Today we will recap the movie, The Bait, of 2012. Josh and Rory are friends and work together as lifeguards on a beach. Besides, they have something in common, Tina. She is Rory's sister and will be married very soon to Josh. Josh isn't feeling too well, as the night before was his bachelor party, so Rory went instead to do the routine safety buoy check. But something seemed to be wrong. A bather who approached the buoy was pulled to the bottom and brutally killed. Another lifeguard on duty noticed what it was and gave the shark alert. Josh goes quickly to try to save his brother-in-law, grab the jet ski and head towards the buoy. He tries to scream that there was a shark, but Rory can't hear and is suddenly attacked, sending him flying several feet above. Josh even tries to save him as best he can, but there was nothing to be done. Rory was completely torn apart and had died. Some time has passed and Josh is home. Some photos on the wall, the ring and the news about Rory's death, show that he walked away from Tina, feeling the weight of the death of his brother-in-law and friend. He leaves for work that day and notices a few different things. His neighbor's dog is howling non-stop, something he doesn't usually do. A crow appears out of nowhere and almost smacks him in the face. When looking at the sky, the birds were totally agitated, fleeing the ocean. When animals are acting like that on the coast, especially birds, it's better to follow them. There's a tsunami coming. Josh ignores the warning signs and goes to the market to work, and he starts meeting his ex-fiancée Tina, who is accompanied by her boyfriend Steven, but was soon interrupted by her boss. And there was still an important detail going on there. Two burglars entered the market, and one of them named Doyle surrendered the owner, Mr. Jessup, but was soon surprised by Todd, a police officer who saw the crook's suspicious movement. Everything went into chaos, because Doyle's partner was a psychopath and ends up killing an employee, and still takes Tina hostage. Josh gets desperate, but he didn't even have time to do anything. A tremor erupted through the market, and when the sea began to recede, surely, here comes the tsunami. An immense wave has been dragging people like ants and destroying everything along the way, including the market, with horrible scenes. After the literal wave of chaos, everything was completely flooded and there were bodies floating in every corner of that market. Josh and the other survivors appear and gather on top of the shelves and freezers. The policeman is badly wounded, with a stake in his leg. While his wound isn't splinted, his daughter Jamie needs to stop the bleeding. When Josh sees that Tina is alive, he rushes to help her, only she is still in shock. And right there behind them a floating body is pulled down. In the parking lot the situation is even worse. The couple Kyle and Heather are trapped in the car, which in turn is submerged in water. A strange noise catches their attention. It seems that something is circling the car. Even the little dog bully is nervous when he realizes he had a presence outside, but for now it's just a dark body. Brian is also in the parking lot trapped in his van. He's the boyfriend of Jamie, the cop's daughter. In his case, he preferred to break the window to get out of the car and seek help. Then he climbs up to some concrete wreckage and notices a strange shadow in the water. On the shelves, people are still thinking about what to do. Cell phones don't work, as they have become a sponge with so much water absorbed. Which makes no difference, as they would have no signal in the midst of a catastrophe. They decide they need to swim outside and get help. When they decide, Bob goes to the warehouse, Tina and Steven to the main entrance. It's not just in the parking lot that something strange is happening. Josh started to wash his wound in the water and Naomi saw that a floating doll started to move by itself. Josh noticed right away and ordered everyone out of the water, only the stupid didn't explain that it was a shark. Tina only got the warning because Josh kept yelling at her to get out. They left poor Bob without understanding anything. He begins to be attacked by the animal and goes into despair. Jamie tries to help him and holds his arm, only it was just his arm, because the body is already leaving. The shark wanted one more treat and now it slammed into the freezer, throwing Naomi into the water. They managed to pull her back, but it was close. Judging by the size of this monster's fin, they conclude that it must be a great white shark at least 3.5 meters long. Not just one, but there's also the one in the parking lot. Brian continues looking for any survivors, but only finds dead along the way. The annoying couple is fighting over the fake shoe Kyle gave Heather. The guy wants to break the glass to get out of there, which would kill them both for sure. But Heather opens the sunroof panel and unlocks it. The problem is, she saw a not-so-friendly gigantic white shark strolling in front of the car. The shark decides to violently crash against the car windows that are about to break. If they don't get out of the car soon, the shark will be able to force open it. Brian sees that the two are in danger and warns them to stay put. He had a plan. He sawed off a dead person's arm and waved it in the water to lure the shark with the blood, which really works. And he yells for the couple to swim to his van. But the damn shark changed its course and headed towards them. Kyle threw the bully in the water so the shark could eat him so he could get in the car in time. Obviously Heather goes into despair and is furious with her boyfriend. Ryan is trying to find a way out of there, with the shark trying to get him anyway. He came up with the idea of using the iron plumbing attached to the ceiling to cross over. The shark is right down there just on the prowl. When he was almost there he fell into the water. Desperate with the shark approaching, he manages to climb into the car, but with the force of the shark's crash, Kyle slips into the water and is caught by the monster. Here's revenge for you who hated him, there's nothing left. Up there, people keep fighting non-stop because they don't know what to do. The new tremor comes and knocks out some of the high-voltage wiring. Todd asks where the market's power plant is. They need to shut it down so they don't get electrocuted, and Josh says it's inside the warehouse. He offers to go swimming there, but Tina says that with the wound he has on his arm, he would be an easy target. So Steven has an idea. They take several crates, used in carts and shelves in the market, and make a kind of armor on Steven, tying heavy cans so that he walks more easily. Worst of all is this system for him to breathe, 150 miles of hose for the guy to pull air down there. How could this work in reality? With all this contraption, Steven jumps into the water, and in his first steps he already met the shark, who gave just one touch and didn't want to feed on the snack in the iron packaging. It seemed then to be working. Steven advances to the storage sector where the main power switch is, with difficulty as there are many bodies along the way. When he gets there, the contraption's barrel is short and doesn't allow him to reach the lever. And Josh keeps pulling it back, otherwise the tube will fall into the water. Instead of taking out the cans first and then removing the breathing tube, he preferred to do the reverse. He managed to turn off the power, but the weight held him to the bottom. Steven was dead. At least he completed the mission for the group. As Josh talked to Todd, he realized that maybe the air conditioning pipe was an interesting option for them to escape. They throw a rope to check the resistance as to the weight supported, and it looked reasonable. Mr. Jessup offers to come upstairs. Josh and Doyle lift him up to the pipe, and when he manages to get in, a horde of crabs is approaching his head. He slides down from above and almost falls into the water. However, this attracted the damn shark, who leapt up and cut Jessup in half. With one more death, they decided to change plans again. Doyle decided that he would set up a kind of harpoon with the butcher's hook to keep the shark trapped, so they could escape. And that's what they're talking about. Who goes there to pick up a hook? Todd decides that he will do the mission, and asks Josh to take care of his daughter. But Jamie jumps into the water and swims wildly. They try to make a lot of noise to distract the shark, but obviously it didn't happen. Jamie is very close to being captured by the creature. And she even tried using a meat hammer to smash the evil fish in the face. She got the hook and a nice piece of meat. And on the way back, the shark almost ripped off the girl's legs. The bait idea didn't work out too well. The shark didn't want the butcher's dead meat. One of the survivors, who was all the time making sadistic jokes and acting fearful, is actually the burglar who killed the girl there in the beginning. Only no one knew. After all, he put his mask on a body thrown in the water. He takes Naomi hostage and has the most terrible of ideas, use her as live bait, and then throws the woman into the water. The amazing thing here is that Doyle caught him off guard and stuck him with a makeshift spear he'd been making for some time. They managed to save Naomi quickly, and to make it even better, Doyle hooks the burglar and now throws him as bait. The shark is so hungry that he didn't mind eating crap. And he got it right. The hook stuck in his mouth, and now the monster is trapped. Now is the time to escape. In the parking lot, good news for you. Heather and Ryan heard barking. It was Bully. The puppy is alive. But he still needs to swim across. The shark comes with blood in its eye to get the dog, and he manages to save himself from this. Well, they're going to start running now that the shark is trapped. But Jamie hears some thumping. It was Ryan downstairs. He's hammering an iron, creating a signal that only he and Jamie knew. She then realizes that her boyfriend is alive and wants to go after him. Todd asks Josh to accompany his daughter there. They go to the access stairs and need to close a door so it doesn't flood the entire parking lot when they enter. But when opening the door, Ryan and Heather scream to get out of there because of the other shark. They swim towards the car and manage to escape. Jamie says they're on top of her dad's car and there are guns in the trunk. With the impact caused by the shark, the rear window is broken. So Josh takes a chance, but manages to grab a stun gun and a powerful shotgun. From above the car, the shots wouldn't be as efficient, so Josh jumps into the water in the best Max Payne style, waits for the perfect timing of the shark's attack and blows him up from below. Finally, a nice decision by a character. But they need to get out of there, and remember, the other shark, despite being trapped, is alive. Everyone gathers up there, and as the entrance is blocked, Doyle sets up a scheme with the Jeep's steel cable that blocks the way. Plugging it into the power box will blow up the entrance and clear the way. However, a new tremor appears and disrupts the plans. Everything starts to come crashing down, and of course, the shark escapes the hook. Doyle climbs the power cables to avoid getting caught, and Josh takes his shotgun to turn the shark into sushi. But in reality, the weapon fails miserably. So he runs down the ramp, hangs upside down from the ceiling, and when the shark jumps out of the water, he fires the stun gun right in the shark's nose, electrocuting and making a nice sushi, only fried. Doyle activates the power box, and then the car battery explodes, finally freeing the passage for them to leave that place. Everyone is fine, including our puppy friend. But the passage of the tsunami was terrible and leaves a trail of colossal destruction. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.